And this past weekend, he was answering some questions from some fans. You're going to hear the question, and then you will find his answer interesting.
Will Aaron Rodgers ever go to the Bears?
Oh, boy. Security, can we get her out of here? I need some security. Security,
can you take it easy on her on this one?
No, but I believe there's a team that might play in Chicago this year. On a road trip. I don't know. Not sure. Gotta check it out.
Well, you can check this out. The Pittsburgh Steelers do indeed play on a road trip to Chicago in Week 12. Dan Graziano, Mike Tannenbaum joining the conversation. Graz, I admit it. The fact that he knew that the Steelers played in Chicago felt relevant to me. I'm ashamed to acknowledge that on the air, but it did. What did you make of it, and what, if anything, are we hearing as they head into OTAs?
Yeah, what Aaron Rodgers likes the most is attention and being the center of it. So obviously he's enjoying this. He looks like he's enjoying it, and good for him. What to make of it is that he's seriously considered joining the Pittsburgh Steelers, which we already knew. But if he's seriously considering joining them, sure, he knows where they go for their road trips this year. He could probably tell you the rest of their road schedule as well. But in terms of are we hearing anything new, no. As of yesterday, when I was checking on this, no. People I'm talking to still don't know whether Aaron Rodgers will ultimately show up. The Steelers start their OTA practices tomorrow, and they have a mandatory minicamp in June 10th, I believe 10th, 11th, and 12th. So those are key dates to watch. It's not necessarily a deadline. Steelers still have not given Aaron Rodgers one of those. But if you're looking for, tentpole calendar events, those are two that are coming up that could potentially offer at least an opportunity to maybe ask somebody where things stand.
Mike T., you were a general manager in two different places. If this was a place you were the general manager, would you have a deadline?
Yes, it was about 6 weeks ago, Greeny, and here's why. You're trying to win the AFC North in 2025, and you're trying to compete against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens and Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Think about all the reps those teams have. If you look at this graphic here, look at all those reps, look at all those games those teams have played with Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Higgins, and Chase. So, Greeny, think about as good as DK Metcalf, we hope and believe, and as you mentioned in the meeting this morning, sure, they threw one time at UCLA, but they are massively behind this season in terms of reps and experience if they want to meaningfully compete in the AFC North.
Yes, Rodgers had multiple completions to DK Metcalf on a practice field at UCLA a couple of months ago, and that is the entirety of their connection. I want to play what Wilbon said here on Friday, Harry, and then I'll let you start the conversation with it there. Michael Wilbon was sitting in this chair, and I think he spoke for a lot of people about the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers. This is what he said.
Making a mistake if they let him anywhere near their building. What are we talking about? Do people just look at actually what happens in sports? Aaron Rodgers hasn't been relevant as a quarterback in the NFL for 4 or 5 seasons. What are we talking about? The Steelers are not, the hallmark of the Pittsburgh Steelers is not stupidity. Smart organization that makes right moves over decades. And they're going to bring Aaron Rodgers in with all his drama into that room? Really? The Mike Tomlin we know, he's going to deal with that nonsense? What? For a guy who can't play. I'm not talking, yes, he will wear a gold jacket. He's earned it. He's not wearing it now. He's not going to play in a gold jacket. The fact that we have now spent this much time talking about Aaron damn Rodgers Memorial Day weekend is insane. Stop with Aaron Rodgers. Stop.
I've never seen Dan Graziano that happy. I've known the man for years. Harry, is he right? I mean, is he right? Are the Steelers actually waiting for something that isn't going to do them that much good in the first place?
Ooh. I think you can go both sides of the spectrum with this, right? We've seen the Pittsburgh Steelers have the ability to make the playoffs with incompetent quarterback play. Now, what they're probably hoping for when it comes to Aaron Rodgers is not that he's going to be the MVP that we've seen him be in this past, but be better than Russell Wilson, be better than we've seen, Mason Rudolph be. And then when I mention the name Mason Rudolph, I say to myself, well, you're not going into the AFC North and then better yet the AFC trying to win versus Mahomes and everyone else with Mason Rudolph as your quarterback. So I think their best bet right now is Aaron Rodgers, even though it will make you do back flips and front flips at the same time.
Danny?
I think Wilbon's absolutely right, and I think that he's giving us the emperor has no clothes, right? Like everybody wants to talk about Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers, and that's their hope. This is not MVP Aaron Rodgers. This is not 2020 Aaron Rodgers. This is a shell of that. He was a bad quarterback in the NFL last season. He was not markedly better last season than Mason Rudolph was for the Tennessee Titans when he played. So I think what the Steelers are doing here is they assessed the quarterback market this offseason. They didn't really love any of the options, and so they didn't really stretch. They didn't try and outbid the Jets for Justin Fields. They didn't get into the Sam Darnold thing. I think Aaron Rodgers is fine if he shows up, and I think the Steelers are probably fine if he doesn't. Would they try and trade for Kirk Cousins, another flawed option at this point in his career? Maybe, but they kind of like Mason Rudolph. He's been in that building. He helped them get to the postseason 2 years ago with the way he played in December, and I just don't think the Steelers are sitting there hanging on Aaron Rodgers' decision as if he says no, we're going to have to fold the franchise and not even play the 2025 season. I just don't think that's how they're looking at it.
Mike T., final word.
Yeah, I think there's another aspect to this, Greeny. Will Howard, if Aaron Rodgers is a Band-Aid for a year, because again, he'll be 42, Greeny, let's see what we have in Will Howard. He won a national championship, 6th-round pick, and maybe by the end of the season they have something or they don't, and that will inform their plans for 2026 and beyond. But we all know about Mike Tomlin's legendary streak. I agree with Graz from a standpoint, even as a Band-Aid, it does seem odd to sign somebody so old, so late in the process. If he had signed in March, he was there for the whole offseason, that would make sense. But we'll see how it goes. I do think Will Howard will have a chance to play at some point, though, this season.
Well, wait and see on that. I mean, making the trade for DK Metcalf sort of suggests you're a team that's trying to win and you're being aggressive about it, and then the rest of it feels like you're sitting back and thinking about the future. Really
Thì giờ bạn đang, hôm nay mình sẽ tới ở tỉnh, đây là quả chanh, bây giờ mình sẽ biến nó thành quả chanh vàng nha.